Thanks for stopping by, guys, and welcome to another Vintage Story summary video. I don't really have much to say during this intro, so instead I'll simply note this is going to be days 31 through 37, and I hope you enjoy the listen. At the beginning of day 31, we get started on our to-do list, prioritizing charcoal production and building our bloomeries. So, we start putting our new bronze to work by building an axe and shovel, setting out to collect as much firewood as we can, and along the way we come across and collect a couple of oak seeds. With as much wood as we can carry, I return back to base and begin to fill our charcoal pits for another fire. After a bit of a break to collect some crops, I collect some clay as well. And once we're back to base, I head to store our new carrots and come across our barrels brimming with finished wine.
Ooh, we've got wine.
Then I put that clay to use and craft a couple of bricks, prepare a couple pies, and swap out my anvils. I place my old copper anvil at the entrance of our home as a decoration, and once we're back inside, I begin to craft the tools from our molds. I cook myself a midnight snack and settle into sleep. Starting day 32, I take my scythe and grab some dry grass, going until my tool completely breaks. Then, I immediately put that grass to good use in my pit kilns to cook some fire clay bricks and tend to my crops. After that, I head to the mines and begin rebuilding the ladder to make better use out of it. Once I'm finished, I find my way back to base and prepare a barrel to begin making some compost for my fields. With the little light left, I head out to do a bit of prospecting and come back to collect our finished charcoal before heading to bed. When we wake on day 33, the sun still hasn't risen, so we settle in and sift some bony soil while we wait. Once we have some light, I leave to prospect and plan out a point to put our iron mine in. Then, when I found the highest reading in the area, I return back to base to build some more ladders and begin digging down. I stumble across a cool glowworm cave, but I find nothing else of note, and I'm sent back to the surface as our sanity starts to suffer. After a bit of rest to recover my sanity, I slip back in the mine to test to see if different material picks might make any difference. Unfortunately, I still find nothing. Headed home empty-handed, I go ahead and grab the bricks that have finished burning and begin to collect some quartz. Once inside, I build a couple of bloomeries so I can start creating quartz into glass. While I wait for those to fire, I make myself another pick and pass time sifting out soil. I ended up deciding to stay up during the night so I can bake some more pies, craft a couple bowls, and make some clay jugs to use with our wine. As soon as we start day 34, I tend to the fields, fire our clay, and crack out some of our first finished glass that we immediately turn into skylights for the main room, storage, bedroom, forge, and hallways. Afterward, we try and make another iron mine and only find failure. While we are down there, I began to debate and decided that I don't like how much light leaks into the forge, so I return back to base, remove that skylight, and set to bed. Day 35 starts by collecting our clays, and we use our new bowls to make some oil lamps so we can completely replace the torches. I take a taste of my wine and get a bit more wobbly than I had wanted, and wander out to collect some quartz. With that, I water my crops and come across my berries blooming. So, expecting another harvest, I begin to build myself a wine cellar and fill it with a bunch of barrels. I start to move some of my wine down to the new cellar and cook even more glass. That's when I discover that the stairs below my original cellar door was actually making it less efficient. After fixing that, I begin to break out the back wall in my storage room to build a back door, and I head to bed. I begin day 36 by building out the back of my base, starting with a small hut to store some extra peat and wood, doing some internal decoration, then digging out what will become my kiln and clay hut. After some more sleep, I start day 37 by completing the kiln with a sod roof and some landscaping so that it sinks into the soil. With that complete, I decide to start filling out the old holes that we were using on the beach, and begin to dig out what will become my charcoal pit. What is simply a long tube where I can place firewood into light and leave some dirt blocking the door. Then I discover that the stability of my workshop is a little bit lower than I'd like. Comically enough, it seems to stop directly in the doorway. Luckily, I won't have to be out here long enough for it to matter too much. So as a final touch, I collect a couple of flowers to finish off what will become my workspace. Then I fill in the old charcoal pit and put a small marker where the meteoric iron is. And after a moment to admire my home, I turn in to grab some sleep.